Vulnerability can be a scary thing, even when we're on the mend. Black boys boast bravado not to seem broken, and often so do black men. I see you, looking for clues, listening for cues, longing to know what I'm not telling you, as if I'm hiding in plain view. My most intimate thoughts belong to me, like a woman's body when she says no. So I reserve the right to go as far as I like, because though I live in the public eye, I don't subscribe to the dog and pony show. For I have learned to discern who cannot accept all of me. I read the room before I speak, because I find that folks flee from honesty the way we retreat from love. Vulnerability can be a scary thing, even when we're on the mend. Black boys boast bravado not to seem broken, and often so do black men. My relationship with rejection reeks of stale smiles and toxic tear stains that shed secretions of trepidation. And since astute sharks sense fear so sharply, sometimes I feign confidence, like young girls dumb down and grown women fake orgasms. Sometimes I refrain from revealing how I truly feel and just hang out and hide the parts of me you possibly might not like. Vulnerability can be a scary thing. We all do the same dance, right? It's like life is one big masquerade party with cute masks to mask misshapen identities made by us to make us feel safe in the face of uncertainty. But when you hide yourself to please, you place a piece of your soul on hold. And the sanctity of that space eventually becomes a poisonous pit of unexpressed feelings or untended quirks that never quite get worked out. For the things that we hide about ourselves don't disappear, and some we live in fear may slip out when least expected. I know an irony for me is when I wanted to be fully accepted without giving my full self. Not feeling safe enough to be vulnerable, I'd lament that I was only being loved based on what I thought was safe to present. I spent years in a relationship, hiding, halfway knowing I was neglecting me, allowing myself to be disrespected since I was silently disrespecting me. Friends who knew me well were looking at me like, yo, who the hell is he? It's deep. A compromised soul may let you sleep, but will never let you rest. Unless you address the parts of you that can't be dressed up with a smile and I'm fine. So I'm on this personal quest to embrace a self-love so radical that I honor every aspect of my being, even the broken I'm working to heal. Dim my light for no one. Let it shine with precision to keep my path bright and protect my soul and spirit temple like a lion protects its cubs from perilous predators day and night. Black boys boast bravado not to seem broken, and often so do black men. Vulnerability is a scary thing. And while I'm on the mend, my need is to love me and tend to my self-care. Hiding in plain view is really me deciding how much of my soul I'm willing to share. Thank you. So as a child, my parents taught me that lying was bad. Lying got me into trouble. But the ironic thing is, being honest enough to say no, or worse, no, I don't feel like it, also got me into trouble. I mean, needless to say, it was very confusing growing up. Adults repeatedly say they want honesty, but people who are known for being honest are often labeled brutally honest. And let's be honest, that's not always a compliment. So whenever I hear someone say they want the honest truth, I always think about that iconic line from A Few Good Men: "You can't handle the truth." I mean, yes, the truth can be scary, right? Because it opens us up to rejection and judgment. As a little boy, I learned that expressing my truth often felt like an invitation to get hurt because it made me vulnerable. And in the neighborhood where I grew up, being vulnerable could cost you your life. So to protect myself, I learned to ration my vulnerability at a young age. Vulnerability, especially in boys, isn't considered cool. To be vulnerable, we must be surrounded by people who accept us for who we are wholeheartedly, and that's pretty difficult to find in junior high school. So from early on, it begins, right? The dance between lying for acceptance and honesty for self-preservation. I joined the drama department in junior high school, where I learned pretty quickly that the cool kids were not doing theater, especially not the cool black kids. See, in acting, there's no room for being cool. I knew that to be an effective actor, I had to be vulnerable. But being vulnerable isn't cool. And you can't be vulnerable and cool at the same time. I felt like a mess. So in 8th grade, I auditioned for The Cosby Show. And I almost didn't get the role. I was acting my scenes like I'd seen the cool kids on TV. I was being a smart aleck, sighing loudly, hands on my hips, rolling my eyes. I was hitting every comedic beat, and everyone in that room was laughing. So naturally, I felt quite proud of my audition, because clearly, I'm being very cool. But the one person in the room who was not laughing was Mr. Cosby, who looked at me and simply asked, "Would you talk to your father like that?" I was stunned. "No," I replied. "Well, I don't want to see that on this show." Choosing cool over vulnerability almost cost me that role. But throughout the run of the show, and since I'm being honest, most of my life, I was obsessed with wanting to be cool, but having to accept that my vulnerability would always be in the way. And now the big irony is, at 50-something years old, I meet men and women all the time who tell me that while growing up, they thought I was so cool. What? So what I realized, what resonates with people about me and my acting roles, is seeing a man who was not confined by the traditional definition of cool. It turns out being vulnerable is cool. You see, I know that my vulnerability does not subtract from my manhood. It does not make me weak. Now, it does open me up to rejection and sometimes heartbreak. But I'm here to tell you, there is nothing weak about having the strength to overcome the things that feel like they can emotionally break you. I said there is nothing weak about having the strength to overcome the things that feel like they can emotionally break you. There is nothing weak about being your authentic self instead of hiding behind bravado for protection or to please others. Vulnerability allows me to feel and to feel alive instead of deadening my feelings to be cool. Man, it's taken me all of these years to see my vulnerability as my superpower. And I am exhausted by the stereotypes created in the media around black men and vulnerability. There's been this conditioning to view all black men as filled with bravado, misogynistic attitudes, and danger. We are more than the stereotypes with which we are bombarded on TV, in film, and in music. And in my I'm glad you agree. In my professional and personal life, I am pushing the opposing narrative so that black boys don't grow into black men emulating these stereotypes. I want black boys to live what I have learned. Vulnerability is cool. It is strength. It still allows you to be a man, and vulnerability offers the greatest gift. It allows you to open up to yourself and love yourself. Because the most important thing is the simple belief that you are enough. And as I stand here in the power of my own vulnerability, I am telling you, you are enough. Imagine, just imagine what you could give to the world and what the world would see in you if you were no longer hiding in plain view. Thank you.